Every time I come up here, or myself in Filipino, someone back here likes to start something up with their noise. I come up here and it's usually quiet, and then as soon as I sit down to record, noise. Anyway, I hope you can hear me okay. Just thought I'd come on here and give another testimony of how good God is. I'll try to get close to the camera. Hopefully you can hear me. The goodness of God. I was thinking about all the great things that God has done over the years in my life. Another major thing for me was God giving me an amazing dream job when I basically had nothing. Went through this divorce thing back about 10 years ago. So after that, kind of left myself taking care of my son, and I literally just pretty much had the shirt on my back, and that was it. I didn't have a job. I was in a different country, so I went home, and when I was home, I basically had nothing. So, I tried many different things to try to get an income, and was a little bit of a complication involved in that because my son was used to being homeschooled, and I wanted to try to keep some normality for him during the tough time that we're going through. So I wanted to keep doing his homeschool for him because it's something he wanted, not necessarily something I wanted, but and he was used to doing it, so I didn't want to disrupt his life even more because the divorce thing, that was kind of hard enough. So I did several things and attempts to get income at the time, and they just weren't working out. I remember one of my first jobs that I tried to hook into was like, a quick, easy kind of job. It was like a call center type thing, and you had to call people and try to get them to purchase a lawn care kind of package, and you had to convince people. And I remember one call that I was making, it was this old lady that I called, and she was really just trying to, I guess, say yes to everything. And I just felt so bad because I felt like during the call she really didn't have much of anything, and I'm here trying to convince her to do this lawn care program, and I just felt so terrible. That was maybe a bit of a turning point for me. I'm like, I just can't do this job. And it was so hard doing the cold calls and just couldn't do it. I know a lot of people are really good at that, and that's a good job for a lot of people, but for me, I just couldn't do it. It was breaking my heart, literally. It was just really hard. Then I tried doing some, like at that time, the TV box thing was pretty popular, and I was trying to sell kind of like door to door my own little version of how to utilize these boxes to get TV at the time. And then that was doing like a little bit of pocket change, I guess, for me, but it wasn't doing great strides or anything like that. And then, of course, like government seemed to clamp down on it, saying a lot of it was illegal, when I still don't think it was, because for instance, the part I was doing, it was just making what's already available just accessible easily in one box. So I really don't even understand how they were saying a lot of it was illegal, because to me it didn't seem that way at all, because it was just, you can go online and get any of it freely. So I don't know, it seems to me if it was illegal, they should have had it all shut down, you couldn't access. So anyway, that's a whole different story maybe. So I remember sitting in the apartment with myself and my son, feeling kind of down a little bit, and I was just saying, I said, buddy, wouldn't it be great? I said, wouldn't it be a blessing? These were the words I actually used. Wouldn't it be a blessing if I could just get a job and work from home and still be able to do your home school with you? I said, wouldn't that be a blessing? So anyway, I guess several days, maybe weeks, I can't clearly remember now. It's been 10 years ago. I was applying for different jobs every kind of way that I could. And then right at the same time, I got 2 offers, okay? One was another kind of a call center job, but was a much easier one to do. I think I probably could have done that one better, and it would allow me to work at home. And then the other one was a job that I'd never heard of before, and I'm like, wow, this is a job? at the time for me, others probably knew all about it, but at the time for me, I've never heard of it. It's called like ESL, English as a Second Language. You teach ESL. You teach basically foreign children how to speak English in a basic manner. And at that time, you didn't even need any kind of diploma or anything like special certification. You didn't need any kind of special certification at that time. You just needed to be a native English speaker. And I'm like, well, I'm trying that one. And like I said, at the same time, I was approached by the other job, which in that job interview, I was basically approved to my understanding that I would have got the other job. So I'm here at a crossroads now, having no job, no income. And I'm like, oh Lord, which is the best decision for me? Because I'm trying to decide, and one, the ESL one, I was kind of unsure about, didn't know how that would work out, didn't know if I would really do well with it. It seemed more iffy, but at the same time, the first one was like it would take up a lot of my time just sitting there at home in front of a computer screen, and I don't know, just trying to weigh the two. So I got a response back from the ESL company, and the guy's name who responded back to me, his name was Joseph Blesson. And I remembered clearly then thinking, oh my goodness, I had just prayed. I should say, I had just said to my son a little while ago, saying, wouldn't it be a blessing if I could work from home and still be able to do your homeschool with you? And here's Joseph Blesson responded to me, Blesson, not blessing, but blessings. Close enough. And then I got to thinking even more after that. I'm thinking, Joseph Blesson, wow, Lord, this has to be the confirmation of the job for me to go for sure. And then I got to thinking about the Joseph part, because the guy's name was Joseph. And I looked up Joseph, and the biblical meaning for Joseph is God provides. And I'm like, yeah, God provides a blessing. And that's exactly what happened. Isn't that amazing? I'm getting chills now just thinking about it. I never want to forget this, because like I said, after the divorce thing and having to come back from another country, basically just the shirt on my back, and go to, so many months before this happened, but crying out to God continuously. And I think that's the key. So if you're going through something, really tough like that, just keep crying out to God and filling yourself with encouragement from God through preachers, through His Word, different things, just way to fill yourself up with God. So anyway, yeah, God provided a blessing. Joseph Blesson, he connected with me and basically got me approved with this ESL teaching. So I taught Chinese children how to speak English. And as I just jumped into it, I had to do an interview thing. I seemed to gotten hired immediately, although there was a little bit of a time thing happening there. There's always these little discouraging parts along the way. You wonder, oh, did I really make the right decision? But when God gives you an answer to prayer, do your best not to doubt anything. Because even though at the beginnings it was just like a few classes here, a few classes there, it wasn't enough to support myself and my son, but I could see the potential in it. And I'm like, oh, if I could just get more of this going. And sure enough, after about maybe a month or two, or maybe less than that, it just started to kick in big time with my classes. And wow, I found out after, I didn't even know during the process, but I found out after that I became one of their top teachers, according to a letter of recommendation I got when the company finally closed. It was during the COVID time that that company finally closed. But, through God's grace, I managed to keep, because of the experience and everything, I managed to keep this kind of a job going, teaching ESL, English as a Second Language, online. And to this very moment, it's what I'm doing. I teach English as a second language online. And God has allowed me to go from one company to another company to now being on my own doing this. Now I got to say, there's ups and downs, and sometimes if you let your humanity mind get to you, sometimes it gets discouraging. But, through these basically 10 years, God has been so faithful, and God gave me that job. Wow, I'm so amazed and how He did it, through the guy named Joseph Blesson after I was saying, oh, wouldn't it be a blessing to be able to work from home and teach you homeschool from home? So, anyway, I guess I'm kind of rambling, just repeating myself, but it was such an important thing in my life that when I went through that tough time and had nothing, sometimes you got these ups and downs before you actually lock into the position. So if you're going through the ups and downs, don't be discouraged. That part where you get locked in, it's coming soon. So God will help you lock in, and you just keep it all in prayer always. And even through it all, like that He's given me the job. There's been times that, oh Lord, can I keep doing this? And is it gonna be okay? But you know what? You got to remind yourself that God, the same God that gave you the job, that helped you out in your situation, is the same God that's going to keep seeing you through. And for me, like I say, up to this point, even right now, it's the same position I have. It's the same thing I do now, and it's been about 10 years almost. So God is good, and I hope you're encouraged as well. If you're needing a job, you keep praying too. And I remember going through those difficult times before, even days before, kind of thing. Every time I'd be out on the road, and I'd just be seeing different ones walking or driving their car. I'm like, that person has a job. They're so blessed. That person has an income. Oh, they're so blessed. And I just felt the agony, and I would just be constantly crying out to God. So God hears your prayers. You just don't give up praying. Always keep crying out to God, and God will see you through. So anyway, thank you, Lord, for the position I have now. And I'm praying for even better things in the future, and I pray for you as well.